On that note, बढ़ेंगे आगे to the next one. This is going to be another panel discussion, ladies and gentlemen, on the topic scaling intelligent financial services with AI and machine learning. Like always, I'm going to be introducing our honorable moderator first, and then I'm going to be introducing our speakers, and then मैं request करूंगा हमारे moderator and speakers को to please join me on stage together. Ladies and gentlemen, this session is going to be moderated on stage by Dr. Kopal Vyas Dhage, SVP Zrika. A big round of applause for Dr. Kopal, please. Thank you so much. And to join Dr. Kopal on stage, we have with us today Apurva Jha, SVP and Head at Ugrow Capital. We have with us today Mr. Sunil Yadav, CIO, Satin Credit Care, Mr. Nishant Pradhan, CAIO, Mirai Assets Mutual Fund, Mr. Vittal Nayak, CTO, Profectus Capital, and Mr. Dipesh Karki, co-founder and CPTO, Lendon Club. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for all our speakers, moderator, and everyone as I welcome them over here on stage. Thank you so much. Such a pleasure to have you. Welcome, sir. Shukriya. Thank you. Pleasure. स्वागत है आपका, sir. Thank you so much. Pleasure. Pleasure to have you. Hi. Pleasure to have you, sir. Shukriya. Thank you. Pleasure to have you. बहुत shukriya. Thank you so much. And so I believe everybody is seated and the stage is set. The panel is ready. Let's get going and over to you. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah. I believe all the mics are on, and in case we have less mics, I'll request you all to, kind of pass it amongst yourselves. Thank you. Over to you now.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. It's a privilege to welcome you all to this panel of scaling financial intelligence services with AI and machine learning. So before I start the discussion, just few points from my end. The financial service industry today stands at a fascinating crossroads where decades of expertise in lending, asset management, and risk evaluation are now being amplified by algorithms, real-time analytics, and predictive intelligence. We are not just talking about digitization anymore. We are talking about intelligence becoming the engine room for growth, efficiency, and customer satisfaction. From NBFCs to mutual fund, from rural credit to urban micro-lending, AI and ML are redefining how we assess risk, how we personalize customer journeys and unlock new market segments. The question is no longer if we integrate these technologies, it's how fast and how responsibly we scale them. To explore this, we have an exceptional panel for the discussion, and I have experts from all the industries. It's my pleasure that I'm covering almost all the industry here to understand their view on this topic. So to begin with, we'll start with Mr. Apurva Jha from Ugrow Capital. Apurv, I would like to understand your view on today's topic. And thereafter, at the end of the discussion, we'll follow with the question answer.
Thank you for that great question. Not too long ago, we used to write on LinkedIn that AI is a buzzword, AI is a buzzword. But AI is AI, and let me say why I say that. AI is absolutely imperative today, and let me try to keep it extremely relevant. I work in an NBFC that is into lending, and there are quite a few journeys that we have built are AI-driven, to be very honest, right? Let me give you a classic use case, okay? So we serve the last mile customers. The last mile customers here are the MSMEs that are the backbone of the Indian economy, and the information that they give us to assess the credit worthiness of theirs is very sparse. They are not really GST profiled customers. They do not really have thick banking. Their bureau history is not really, thick. So what are we left with? We are left with alternate data that they kind of, give us from various form factors. Now, the various form factors here include the JSONs that might arise from the documents that we parse, the XMLs, the Excels, the visuals, the audio, and everything. All of these alternate data points, which are beyond my financials, typical traditional financials that we take as lenders, would really fold up into one common logical converged intelligence that can only be powered by AI, right? Let me give you a little more insight on this. Say, for example, I am the credit officer and I go and meet someone who's the proprietor of a shop, right? while doing the personal discussion, my video camera is on, and I'm not only interacting with him, and I'm also capturing the background of the shop that he has. And with the kind of inventory that he has set up, right, with the kind of stock that he has, with the kind of stuff he's selling, I do not only analyze what he's talking about his business, but I'm also trying to relate with the stock that he has stocked, right? So all of this built together would really tell me, and I would be able to triangulate the information with dimensional data point, which could be non-linear in nature, right? And this can not only help me understand what is the credit worthiness of this guy, but I can also probably relate to understand whether his business is seasonal or not, what is his likelihood of him getting delinquent tomorrow. So all of it put together, the intelligence that AI gives really empowers us kind of evaluate a person fairly accurately, and also cover ourselves from the risk standpoint, so that if I lend to this person today, we should not really have a delinquent portfolio tomorrow. So I have tried to keep it very simple to your question, and that is how we believe that we should be lending in a futuristic landscape. Thank you.
Thank you for that response, and I'm sure that is why the name of the company is You Grow, because you believe in their growth as well. Okay, now moving on to Mr. Sunil Yadav from Satin Credit Care. So considering your area of expertise on the rural microfinance institutions, what is your view on this topic?
So first of all, I want to express my thank you to BNG to bring me here in front of wonderful audience and nice ears. So as a practitioner, we are one of the largest microfinance firm in India. Those are serving a clients in a deep suburb area. We are serving 3.5 million plus clients in a tier 4, tier 5 villages. So there is altogether it's a different problem statements on that particular segment. There is a very, very limited data so we can bring in front of us. So it's by a couple of data points like credit bureau. It's one of the data point. Another data point is KYC related documents. These are the majorly a document data points. But in the limited data points, we are harnessing our systems or our data points to bring more smaller data points. Like, for example, we are implemented a AA to bring a financial details of the clients. We are capturing a data from IMDA through a geographical data on specific geographies. Okay, what kind of geographical conditions on that particular area. These are the data points. And another data points is we are collecting a data of a husband of a client of our, their creditworthiness of a client's husband and their household incomes and all such kind of data points. Over and above loan utilization checks and all such things we are collecting. So from a last 8 to 10 years, we are harnessing our system by such kind of a data. And now we are start utilizing that data to making more decisions around credit worthiness of a client, or maybe a predictiveness on a delinquency of a client. So just give me a couple of example. So let's start with the delinquency. So in a delinquency, we are evaluating repayment behavior of our client. So let's take an example of one specific pocket of India. So suppose there is Bihar is a state, and on specific geographies every year there is a flood. So we can do a risk assessment on the basis of such kind of natures, or a loan utilization check of a clients and repayment behavior of a clients. On such things, we are harnessing our system and our ML algorithms to come up with the predictive analysis. So on such way, we are doing such things. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the response. But considering the rural and interior geographies, what you were telling about their background and the credit risk of the customer, it must be really challenging to gather all that information and to validate the correctness of it.
Yeah, you're correct. From that point, I'm started. So it's a challenging environment because it's a very, very less data points and valid data points. There is a fair chances someone is collecting information. It's conditional or unconditional bias behind that particular thing. But we are finding out or extracting a legitimate information through a credit bureau. It's one source. Another source, we can say, a repayment behavior of our existing clients on that particular area. We are also harnessing a data of our peers on that particular geography, how their portfolios are behaving on that specific cluster. So we are breaking down the information in the cluster wise so that we can guide our product, or while we are doing a credit underwriting, a risk assessment around that particular product. Okay, that much of weight we can put around that thing. So these are the valid points.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So moving on to Nishant ji from Mirai Asset Wealth Management. So considering the wealth management space, it is growing with in 100x kind of numbers. And every time we see multiple risks are also part of it, be it on the onboarding of the customer or anything. So considering today's topic of discussion, what are your view on that?
Yeah, sure, thank you, and a very good evening to everyone. So what we are doing and what I see in the industry today is, so we are trying to create a AI agent for everyone within the organization. And I'll explain what is the AI agent like in our view, because, so different people have a very different opinion of what is an AI agent. Some people feel that AI agent like is ChatGPT. Some people say that like it does specific tasks. So I'll clarify like what is that AI agent. But the goal is to have an AI agent for everyone, like across division and across level. Now coming back to our core business, where so we do fund management, we do equity research, and we are into thematic ETF. Now, what the AI agent would do is, like, it would be one tool. Like today, what happens is, so if you look at our fund managers today, like they have Excel sheets with a lot of information of funds, and then they have a Bloomberg terminal, and then someone has given them a Tableau dashboard. Now I'm giving them ChatGPT. So they are toggling between 4 tools, and this is not the story of just the fund manager. If you look at any business user, we have been giving them tools. Traditionally we gave them a BI dashboard, and then now we are giving them Copilot, ChatGPT. Now at the end, the person is one person only who has to look into 4 different tools and figure out what he wants in his life. So that is where we are solving them with the problem of AI agents, so that they look into only one tool. Now that one tool, how does it toggle between your internal data, to give you like your own dashboard and metrics? And then if you have a question from the web, like you can move to the web and say, get that information from a ChatGPT. And then again, you come back to your data and you are able to get all the information through one agent. Now that is the need of the hour, and this is the, so if people understand why AI agent is being talked about, is because people don't get it. People feel that AI agent is like RPA, or it's like, how. So that is where you can integrate, like how do you get internal information and how you are able to navigate the web and get real-time information from LLM in one tool. Like it's a very simple definition. Now that is the power. If you have that as a power, now whether you are a HR head, to create a JD where like you have a few skills from your internal member, but how do you create a JD? So you want to use LLM as well as internal data. Like how do you match JD with say resumes? People will write their skills in different sections. So how can you use LLM and then combine them with internal data? Like is what we are trying to do. And here every situation is different, because every department is different, the data is different, and the key metrics they're looking for is different. Now whether it's an operations guy at the bottom of the chain or it's a CEO, we are creating an agent for everyone. For a CEO, if he or she is looking at, say, who are my customers? Say, can I cluster them into like their investor behavior, psychology, like what I look, so he gets that information himself. Like he doesn't have to open a Power BI dashboard or go like himself on ChatGPT. So that is the real, the art of the possible today, which the world is trying to create, AI agents. It would probably, consolidate your entire like data warehouse, BI industry, your LLM industry, and RPA, like a lot of things would be affected. And hence they say that AI is impacting everything, because it's going to impact a lot of vendors in each of these spaces, and also the organization, where like everybody would be able to use these agents. And our goal is not, to replace anyone. Like, so we deal AI as an assistant. Now there's the one last point around, confusion that I've seen like today in the event as well as in every event that I go, that if I replace, say, fund management with AI, then there's a risk. See, there is no fund that we want to create, completely AI based. Like you have to break down the process of, creating a fund where, like you come out with a strategy, you identify features, you do data collection, then you identify theme, and then say stock selection, and then the weights. Now, how AI will help you in few processes, which you were doing manually, like you were going through annual reports and your decisions were very subjective. That is where AI would make it quantitative. It is not that you will create an entire fund completely on AI. And hence, I think there's a lot of confusion. People feel that how can AI replace a fund manager? How can AI replace? AI will never replace. AI will only assist you in parts of the life cycle. And if you use AI, your fund would be more innovative. It will perform better. So I think that is where there's a gap, and we like to be in the binary, either human or AI. So that is where I think we want to correct it. We are using AI as an assistant. We are creating agents for everyone across the organization. And I think that is how we want to see our AI grow in the company.
That's a wonderful response you have given. And if I can summarize this, the same kind of fear which it was there when the computers were launched. And people were afraid that if computers are launched, there will be unemployment. But now it's a symbiotic relationship which we have developed with the computers. And I think the similar kind of case is going to happen with AI also. And as you rightly said, it is important to use AI as an assistant. It's not going to rule over you. You have to use AI assistant to best of your efforts and to standardize the internal process. So right from the employee to the CEO of the company, everyone has a common vision and a common view of what's happening in the organization. So thank you for that. Moving on to Mr. Vittal Nayak from Profectus Capital. So I would like to understand your view also on this topic.
Sure, thank you. I work for Profectus Capital. We are into SME lending. So business, small and medium businesses loans, right? The one thing in our setup, right, is a richness of data. We get a lot of data about the businesses. When you have to underwrite a business, right, you have to look at the financial statements. You have to look at banking history, maybe for last 1 year or so, credit score, then the data about collateral, right, we are funding against. So there's a lot of data. So two things, right? Two problems which are simple. I think the solution perspective, right, is one is about the onboarding side, right? Customer onboarding, and other thing is on the early warning signals or early warning system for identifying delinquency, early delinquency, right? So those are the two use cases I think most of the lending companies use, right? And these are kind of a prime use cases for to solve using AI. And when we say AI, right, there obviously AI is very, very broad term, right? Analytics, whether it's rule-based or simple analytics or predictive analytics is there for ages, right? A lot of companies are using it. All what we are adding on there is a generative part of it, where the content getting generated, right? And the AI is becoming more affordable. That's I think the point. Otherwise, I think this technology is there, right? And people are using it. So in our context, right, how do we make customer life easy at the time of onboarding phase? That's a problem we wanted to solve. And then I think a lot of other people also are using it for that, right? So if you're going to gather so many documents, how quickly you can make sense of those documents, right? Using AI or analytics, that's important. So can I kind of capture data from a financial statement very easily, or a tax records very easily, or a bank statements very easily, right? And then make a sense of that, right? So in the process, what happens, right? Customer doesn't get burdened with cataloging a lot of documents, sending it to the right person or something. The customer, in our case, just sends all these documents in a particular email. It's a standard email, right? Our bot kind of identify what is that document. Customer doesn't need to send it, say it's a bank document or a KYC document or something. So we automatically identify this is a banking statement, or this is a KYC document, or is a tax statement, right? And then attach it to particular case automatically, extract data using OCR and other technology, right? And then pre-fill a lot of application forms, right? Run algorithms on those, and then run policy rules on that, and then kind of give an in-principle sanction quickly, right? So that is actually a use case where you cut down the onboarding cycle pretty much, right? So that is one use case. The other use case is early warning signal, right? Where you have a portfolio, right? You have customer account, and how do you kind of monitor that very proactively? So where you look at the data which is publicly available, right? The customer's compliance history with the maybe a PF office or government offices, or are there any legal cases against that customer? If you look at the directors of the customers, right, are there any legal cases against those directors? Or is there too much churn at the management level, right? That is a publicly available information. The information which is available with you is a repayment history. So if you match both of that, right, you can kind of get a signal, right, where this account is heading, right? So that is another use case we deploy using analytics. So to speak about AI actually. So these are the two use cases we are using successfully here.
That's good to know. So it's a combination of KYC onboarding and the AML as well. So when you were discussing about... Correct. That's wonderful. So moving on to our next panelist, Mr. Dipesh Karki from LaneDen Club. So since it's a P2P lending, and we have been discussing everything about the onboarding part and how Sir has highlighted, even on the AML or the initial red flags. So how is it with LaneDen Club?
Thanks. Since I get to speak at last, so I get to address the humility that it's not just me who is doing AI. Every other peer along with me is doing something or other, starting with Anupam and Nishant, and everyone is doing something or other that I am also doing. So I feel good to know that we all are innovating, or we all are trying our hands to make sure that we build something amazing, right? So at LaneDen Club, the way name suggests, right, it's a platform where you can do lane and then of money. So it's a peer-to-peer lending platform. So there's very limited things that we can do on the platform side, but there's a lot that we can do on the customer side, as well as for the internal teams enhancement. So we have two visions that we are driving in the organization. One is AI for LaneDen Club and AI from LaneDen Club. So in AI for LaneDen Club, whatever Nishant said, we're doing almost everything right from our daily task, right? Of course, people with more inclination towards technology and engineering are always inclined to experiment with something or other, so they can come up with some innovative idea about building their own interview bots, right? Talking to an AI, to write their PRDs, write their next product flow chart, etc. Even we use cursors, to boost our team's productivity. They keep on posting, hey, we reduced these many lines of code using cursor. I don't know about how much productive they have been. It's just that it feels good that they're trying to play the hands with AI in some form or another, right? I'm sure it will come to a better shape because if you look at the larger frontier, right, even the companies like Windsoft, right, we saw a lot of critical acclamations about when the founder himself joined the company, right? Because they are also figuring out on how AI can be used in an innovative way. So for those of one who have taken it to a certain extent are not able to innovate beyond that, are joining hand with the bigger guys. And that's exactly what I said to one of the largest AI innovator that had come to our office a few days ago to give a demo on certain products that they are building, especially the speech-to-speech technology and the VO product, right? So you guessed the name correct. They came to our room, they did a workshop, they did a live video call using the Gemini tool, and then they just walked around, hey, can you tell me how many participants are here in the room? And the AI bot tells it on a real-time basis that there are 204 participants. I was like shocked. That's the kind of capability the core engine builders are building, right? So it is very important for us, the way Nishant again said, right? AI may not replace your job, but definitely there will be people building some of the amazing use cases of AI. And if you don't do that, you will be replaced because you will be slow. That is for sure. That you don't need to do some average looking at the 10 years data or 10 months data. These things can easily be done by AI, right? Please don't let the AI do the smart job and you end up doing the mundane one. It should be the other way around. So that is one of the uses that we are doing. For example, our monthly reviews wherein we have to see the trends of how the numbers are panned, how the team were talking about the numbers growth or against the target that they were chasing, right? How are the patterns shaping up? all of these analysis are something that we do with AI. And then, of course, we do put our thought in terms of how we can challenge our team to think on what they can do better, or how they should target the next goal for the next month, etc. The other smaller use cases could be, again, hiring is something. My HR team is one of the best HR teams in terms of using AI, I can tell you that. Because right from profile screening to scoring the candidate to taking the live conversation streams, right, the transcript of the conversation, and rating both interview and interviewee. Right, these are all the things that we are doing with AI, just to make sure that even the interviewer is participating in that interview with full passion and selling the right kind of pitch. Of course, you'll need to do a lot of prompting, but then you'll realize with due course of time that your AI is helping you become more intelligent, more committed, and it also helps you make a better choice in terms of right from funneling to speed of delivery, that is closure of a candidate, right? So that is one of the use cases that we're solving. For LinkedIn Club, it's something from LinkedIn Club is something that we've been doing for a while, like Anubhav, right? Apur said some times ago. We also work in completely bottom strata of the pyramid, wherein our average ticket size is about 14,000, right? So you can't imagine this category of people to have a good credit history, right? So you end up looking at a lot of third-party data. And it's just like this room, right? Many of the people will always be busy with their phones, and they keep on building a lot of data in the digital space. And those are the data that are available to us, not directly because we are not allowed, but indirectly those data are easily available to us. So we built a lot of machine learning algorithms. I'll not say AI, because the AI until 2 years ago was heavily abused. Now there's a bit of cognitive sense added to it. That's why it's a bit more intelligent and can help you make a more rational decision. But until 2 years ago, you just had a much more complicated if-else statement, which you could do using your machine learning algorithms, right? So using which we built 3 types of models. One was a fast-forward model, wherein we categorize a special cohort of customers wherein I don't even need to take a bank statement, right? One of the biggest fraud is with bank statements, wherein until AA came, customers used to provide PDFs, and those PDFs were damn most intelligently defrauded. And there aren't enough tools until AA came into picture, right? That wiped out the PDF forging completely. Another category was, of course, the salaried customers, wherein the standard underwriting algorithms were used using their mobile data. But for the non-salaried was where we really built something interesting. We started with a very small target of about 50 lakhs a month, and today we are catering to almost 30 to 35% of our portfolio just by disbursing loan to non-salaried and NTC customers. Right? So this is something that we are proud of, that we built using our ML and analytics model. Today we are working on, so when I said AI from LinkedIn Club, today we are building our internal voice bot, wherein STT and TTS, speech to text and text to speech, is something that's already quite nicely solved, right? But in between is where the spices are added. You'll need to build right kind of interrupt, you'll need to build right kind of, on top of the LLMs that you have, the right kind of slot filling, you'll need to build right kind of engagement and interactions and context awareness. A lot of time your AI gets hallucinated. So you have to make sure that whatever information that your AI is producing, the LLM is producing from in between, is purely regarding your context and is positive sounding to the customer, right? You must have tried the ML AI bots of Zomato and Amazon, right? In every other sentence they end up selling. It's so irritating, so boring. It should not be that. It should sound like a consultant in your, it doesn't matter the mode of delivery, but that is what we are working on. Maybe in a couple of months we should be out with it.
Thank you so much for that elaborated response. In fact, you have covered everything, and you sound really excited about kind of AI implementation you have done in your organization, like hiring and other use cases which you have shared. And as you rightly said, fraudsters are really smart. So our company software or even a mobile software, it gets updated once or twice in a year. But our fraudsters, they keep on updating themselves every month and with every new version which is launched. So yeah, we have to be extra careful. And one interesting example, what I thought you mentioned, that somebody gave you a demonstration where just by scanning the phone, they detected that how many people are there in the room. I'm really waiting for that technology to come, that by just scanning the room, they can identify who is sleepy and who wants a tea break. So yeah, looking forward to that new technology as well.
I have live purchase demonstration of the same, wherein this guy just shows a flower pot and says, "Ki, I'm not saying it because I see flower pots there. It was the actual example. They said it's a gardener example or something like that. He showed the plant, he showed the pot, and he made a purchase. Ki, this is what I want in my garden. And including procuring the gardener for that. They did that using that video call streaming. It was really impressive.
Wonderful. You were saying something.
So such kind of use cases are already there. I just came across one of the coffee store. So it's calculating number of table is occupied and how many coffee they ordered. They are sitting idle. How much tender are filling the cups or are delivering the cups in last 1 hour. So all such kind of micromanagement is going behind the scene, and AI cameras are calculating such kind of things.
Wow. So that's
Yeah.
a data mine for Starbucks and Chayos of the world.
Yes, it's a very common use case.
Wonderful, wonderful. So now we'll move on to the question answer round. So anybody over here?
Yeah. Hi, good evening. My question is to the gentleman on the extreme right. I'm sorry, I forgot your
Dipesh.
name. Yeah, hi, Dipesh. Dipesh, my name is Anil Quatra. I am the Chief Business Officer at Satin Credit Care. So my colleague Sunil is there. And very interesting, you spoke about certain things on you building an AI around, say, NTC customers. See, for us in the microfinance segment and what we read from the news and credit bureaus, etc., NTC is addressing NTC is one of the biggest problems the industry is facing because you do not have a data support. And where you get stuck is the delinquencies in last 2.5 years have shooted up when it comes to an NTC. So if you could throw some more light on what kind of algorithms have you built, what is the data behind it, not getting into your secret recipe, but yes, some more detail on what can be done because it will be very helpful for us because in the kind of business segment we are. So say Satin is the third largest microfinance company in India with close to 3.5 million women borrowers. When I get into that segment, suddenly we've seen a spurt in delinquencies when you address a customer who's at the bottom of the pyramid and is a woman entrepreneur. We've tried building in some algorithms, but yes, we're yet to reach the right stage where I know, okay, this is the right or the wrong customer because NTC is not giving me results. Even we've tried using some demographic details. So some idea from you would be helpful.
It sounds like there's a good scope for collaboration.
Yeah.
It
does.
So I want to add on that question. So problem statement is that I'm saying on that particular area, digital footprints is almost they are using a feature phone. There no history on the e-commerce and utility bills. They don't have a proper track record or a cash flow, cash in out on the bank statement through a AA. So that's the challenging statements for that particular segment.
These are ghost customer for digital marketplace.
Yes,
to
so
be
that's
honest,
why I'm
right?
saying it's a far beyond the digital footprints.
Right, but
So you'll have to look for alternate data. I think you'll have to look for alternate data which can be a proxy, to ascertain in terms of their efficiency to pay back. So, so that is where I think you need to innovate.
See,
correct. So I'll just add a bit here.
Yeah,
Like, see, the chances are you may be assessing customer A here, but you may not need to assess customer A. You can assess customer B who is in relations with customer A. And if you are able to assess customer B, C, and D, then you know the circle of customer A, right? Okay, if these three are in this strata, more or less you'll get to figure out there are UPI transactions.
Yeah,
Right.
so I just
And everybody
anticipating early. So we are doing what exactly we are doing. We already doing such kind of things. We are doing a assessment around the household. We are assessing if someone is a 18 plus earner on that particular family or husband have some kind of digital footprint. So we are accumulating all such kind of information for taking that particular decision. But again, there is less data footprints are the restriction on that particular geography. So we are taking the alternative source of information, like we are taking a geographical information from IMDA. Okay, what exactly delinquency with the peer on that particular area and how its earnings are carved out on that particular area. So we are taking a help on those particular things, but it's not give us a concrete answer around that. So that's the vacuum.
Again, I think everybody would agree to this except for Nishant since he's into asset management. But see, overall in the industry, from top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnel, I think the ratio lies close to that single digit, right? Maybe 12% is 13% is approval at max or at best, right? And if you look for NTC, definitely the NTC customer would be a lot below 6 or 7%, right? So yeah, of course, no doubt. But see, this is a trend that has just started, right? And the feature phone customers would be the ones that would be in pretty, phasing out stage now, right? The generations that's coming in, even if you're using feature phones will have certain smart features, right? Despite it being a feature phone. For example, a basic GPS tracker, a basic, multimedia interactions, Facebook, or some kind of, internet-based tools would be there, and those will definitely generate data, and those are the data that you need to work upon. Just in our case, I remember one of the special use case wherein, although these customers don't use a lot of, social media and everything, right? But on the basis of the apps that they use, or on the basis,
they use PhonePe, and the QR code data also might be useful. I'm just thinking
why not? Why
off the
not?
fly.
Why not? On the basis of the scrolling pattern, right? On the basis of scrolling pattern, or in case of feature phone, on the basis of the numbers that you use, you could build a pattern around it.
So India is an underserved country, we all know that, and then there are these NTCs who we are scared of, right? So it's a catch-22. I, being a lender, know that, right? So there are few things that we spoke about. One is apography. I think you were mentioning like what kind of apps one has downloaded in his phone, and what is that indicator telling us as far as EWS we can build around, right? Another thing is that, these customers that you might be catering to in Satin are tier 3, tier 4 customers where they might not be banking with a bank, which would be there on the AA network, right? But if you can get that cracked, say for example, this customer who is on the AA network, then AA gives you the functionality to kind of track his banking, not only at the time of onboarding, but also all throughout his loan tenure, right? So from those data attributes, data points, you can build an EWS model around it. Not really what to do like when he goes delinquent, but really how to kind of mitigate that risk beforehand.
Predictive.
Yeah, predictive. So some of these things are already in place, but I get your point, and I get the pain as well, because we are building in something, but we are still not there where we want to get at. Yeah.
I have one more point to add. Since I know a bit of Satin's background, since you also have a good physical network, why don't you use eRupee and add it with a smartphone?
So
CBDC, of course.
CBDC. So
Right,
so
that would be your first dispersal. You can tell them the use case. This is how you can use.
So
You would be actually bringing the customer from thin file to a thick file.
So let me adapt that thing. So recently we did a survey of our clients. So only almost 18-20% client have a household phone, smart household phone. 80% is using a feature phone, typical feature phone. So they are far beyond all such kind of thing. Even they are adapting a UPI and cash flow on their accounts, all such things. They are adapting at point of day. CBDC is yes, it's maybe a crackable thing down the line. But for a microfinance specifically, our last decade is a digitalization decade where we are start disbursing a loan at least on their accounts. And still we are collecting almost a 70-80% money as a repayment in a cash. Because a habit to maintain a fund on their accounts. And example, let's take an example where we are serving clients. It's a deep suburb area where you have a 3G, hardly a 3G network, and client is not tech savvy on that particular front. So that's they believes on that thing. Okay, you can collect me in cash. That's the thing for me.
I think it's gonna be a long discussion, so I'll
We can
hold
catch
it up
up
here.
offline.
I think
I have some
we'll
ideas
catch up
around
offline
it.
and sure.
Maybe we are killing a time of
Yeah.
others who is not taking a interest.
Thank you
in
so
that
much.
thing.
Thank you so much for that question. Thank you so much for all the answers. And we can take one more question in the best interest of time. If anybody is having any question, please feel free to raise your hand. And I hope I'm tall enough to spot the hands in case anybody is raising their hands. But I don't see any hand raises at the moment. There is a hand raise over there. Please pass the mic to him. And this is going to be the last question. Any further questions I'm sure you must be having, please feel free to ask them in the networking zone, as we have to kind of get this session on a close. So yeah.
Hi all, my name is Avinash. I am from Adi Chitra House Finance Limited. It's a NBFC MFI. based out of Patna. So my question is, the field discipline and cash pocketing is like increasing day by day in this sector, right? Uh, so I want to know, like, are there any use cases of AI that could solve this problem? And recently we have seen that, like, earlier our cash collection were on bit lower side, but since last 1.5 year, our cash collections are increasing and the online transactions are decreasing, which is alarming. So do you have any like suggestions on that or viewpoint on that?
So maybe business officer can give a better answer, but I try to attempt. So slowly and gradually, exit story is not like that. So in an entire microfinance industry, almost organic growth of a digitalization transaction for a repayment. So almost 20% or 25% of most of the MFIs are start collecting repayments through a proper cashless mode by UPI and all such channels. Yes, a cash is an unanswerable area. So there is a very, very hard control because there is a huge field force doing a client service their loan and their doorstep. So maintaining a cash stuff, it's itself a challenging statement. Slowly and gradually, we have to move towards a digitalization. That's the only alternative around that particular thing.
Thank you for that question. Thank you for that answer. And I believe on that note,
I would
like
like
to close.
to, yes, I would like to. So before closing, any closing statement for everyone? Any rapid fire? Let's do it in a rapid fire way. What was your takeaway? Apurva, starting with you.
We started with a beautiful presentation, and then I realized there are a lot of things that are there in the market which we should try and explore. And we all would agree that AI is for scale, built for scale, right? And the good thing is that all of us are trying to embrace AI in some form or the other, and it's just the matter of time that will scale up to a level that we would all look at, admire, and keep it to our use.
So from my standpoint, everyone is running behind to implement the use case of AI, but I think we have to use a shift approach towards security or transparency of LLM models. So maybe it's going to be a concern down the line. All these LLMs are harnessing a data. Maybe they are going to reap the benefit down the line. So we should be aware towards that particular thing as well. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so for me, one takeaway is, say, if you have AI as a goal, so you may not achieve anything in AI, but it will end up, correcting a lot of things in the organization because your data strategy would fall in place, your tech architecture would get streamlined, your people would be alert because of productivity. So AI will bring the discipline, the goal, the fear, within the organization or the country or even the house as a student, and you'll perform better, because that is what is happening in the world today, and hence AI is the most disruptive theme. And this I say because we work in thematic ETF where we look at all the themes, climate, war, and out of all the themes, AI is the most disruptive because it is bringing sense in terms of the laziness that was there within the organization, in the world. It is helping correct a lot of things which you will do in the fear of AI.
Yeah, from a roadmap perspective, I think we need to get basic things in place first, right? A lot of time, right? Our systems are not stable. The data, how do we kind of pull data from different systems together? Getting the data readiness itself, right, is not there in many of the organizations, I think. So that's something we need to put in place. System integration is a big thing, right? Data governance is a big thing. I think those are the things. And then because of the cloud, I think it's becoming easier. I think if we get that thing together and put a simple use case to start with, right? I think that could be a good journey to start with, yeah.
I'll repeat. Let AI do your mundane work while you do the smart one, not the other way around.
Thank you. And I would like to say that I had a wonderful time taking this panel discussion covering diverse corner of financial system. And as we say in Zrika, so right from microfinance, lending, and wealth management, AI is the way. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. A big round of applause for all of them. I'll request all of you to please kindly wait over here on stage. And can I request Vaibhavji to please come up on stage and give away the token of appreciation to all our esteemed speakers over here. following a lot of sustainability over here, and that's where all the greenery comes into play. It's all green flag energy. I'll request all of you to come forward, please. We don't want any sort of photo bombing because of these tables. It's all the zamana of aesthetics, right? So if I can request all of you to come over here forward. Yeah. Now, ladies and gentlemen, such an enlightening discussion. Can we have some more clapping and appreciation as well going in, please? Thank you.